Extorre is involved exclusively in Argentina, evaluating a number of projects and discoveries we have in the province of Santa Cruz. We're here at the Hard Assets Show because we have a listing on the New York Amex. The trading symbol there is XG. And we come here several times a year to speak to existing shareholders and to just broaden our shareholder base. Cash-wise, the company has about 30 million in cash, maybe 31 million or so in cash. And we're burning, as we say in the business, about $3 to $3.5 million a month on our drilling programs on 2 projects. For those who follow the company, I mean, Zoe is a discovery we announced just on a few weeks ago. Just to kind of roll it back, we put out a 43101 report, as we refer to it in Canada, which about April last year, 2010, setting out the resources. That was about 1 million ounces, all categories, and the grades were quite extraordinary at that time. We've drilled several hundred holes since, and the last press release referred to Zoe being our latest discovery, and that is what we would call something remarkable. It comes in at the grades. I think we've drilled now 23 drill holes. We've announced 17 of them, I think, is what we've announced. The grades are high grade to bonanza grade. It is a significant discovery for us. Some people are calling it a potential game changer for the company. That'll only come by through further drilling. But the grades are on the website, coming in at better than an ounce of gold per ton, in some cases several ounces of gold equivalent. Silver grades that are kind of off the chart on an industry standard basis. I think the best hole was going 2.5% silver, 25 kilograms of silver per ton. So an extraordinary discovery, and certainly the 1 million ounce resource that we had in April of 2010 will change with that discovery. Good question. I didn't show this piece of sample here. This is from the Zoe Discovery. What's remarkable about the high grade from Zoe is simply the visible gold we see and the visible silver. Going on to answer the question about where else we're drilling, we have 4 drills on Zoe, drilling 24 hours a day to define the discovery. We're also drilling on a property called Puntudo, or Cerro Puntudo. That's a property we own 100% of. We actually have had that property since 2003, and we did some drilling on it in 2005 perhaps, or 2006. Didn't find a lot. We found some gold zones, but then more recently, to the north of us, on the eastern part of the property, there's a discovery that's been made by Coeur d'Alene Mines, a well-known silver company, with a Canadian company called Milestones. And immediately south of their property boundary is what we interpreted to be an extension of their veins. Now, their discovery, nobody knows quite how big it is, but certainly Milestones have quite a significant market capitalization based on that discovery, and it's certainly in some millions of ounces. So we're drilling south of there at present. We've drilled 20 holes, or over 20 holes to date, on that discovery. I can't say what's in those holes, but the geologists are basically picking up on the trend coming off of the Coeur d'Alene discovery, simply drilling a pattern of holes along that structural trend, and we'll wait on the results. But 2 drills operating 24 hours a day on that property to see whether that will be a discovery for us. We have put out a schedule in the past indicating the path to development of Cerro Moro. The milestones are as follows. We're waiting about this time in certainly this quarter, on the environmental clearance from the province of Santa Cruz to proceed with production. That will certainly be a milestone for the company. After that, in June, is the pre-feasibility study. which is the engineering study to set out the economic parameters for the project. Now, we already have put out a preliminary economic assessment indicating the $201 an ounce, and back to the website, these sorts of numbers are there. But the pre-feasibility study is the definitive engineering document that will lead to a construction decision. And then followed by that will be July, will be a new global resource, taking in all the discoveries we have on the property, perhaps some of Zoe. And then in the last quarter of this year would be a full-on final engineering, your construction and moving ahead to production. And production should come about in the first quarter of 2013. Part of that might depend on just factors that come into play, like how big will Zoe be? Could Zoe impact the total project to an extent that we look at not only the size, but not only the ultimate size of the daily throughput, but the life of the project. So that may bear in on some of our planning, but as it stands, that's the schedule going forward.